Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Mercoletè, and welcome to Darlene and Eric. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Great to be here.
Great. Have you got your cup of tea?
Right here.
We do.
Fantastic. We are here today to talk about a new project. It is called Insalata di Bosco. You can find it on Instagram. And what is about? How was the project born? And how does it connect people? And who are you, first of all? Sorry.
Okay. I'm Darlene, and I'm from the New York area, originally living in Bolzano, and doing the eco-social program at Università. And the project started as a semester-long project with the eco-social program in collaboration with Officine Vispa.
And I am Eric, and I am originally from the Toronto area of Canada. And I just moved to Bolzano this past October to also start in the eco-social design master.
Mm-hmm. And how does it work? How does it work, the project? Some people send you some recipe, video.
So we started actually as more in an analog way, and we started in the community in the Don Bosco area with flyers and with a questionnaire about food. And the idea was to link people through their stories about food and recipes. And then it started to evolve into something more in the digital space and using Instagram and reaching out and collecting videos. We're really interested in how food really connects people and how people can tell a story about their culture and their heritage through food and recipes and share about themselves. And so the project's been evolving pretty rapidly through the semester.
Yeah, and we recognize that I think in the middle of COVID-19 as well, there are people who are feeling isolated or who are isolated, whether they don't have a support system of people who are similar to them, if they are newly immigrated to the area, or if they maybe have been here for a while but just don't have a sense of community, or maybe they are within the elderly community as well. So they aren't able to actually spend time with many people because of COVID. And we thought this could be a good opportunity to find ways to connect people both in an analog and a digital way through these food stories.
And why did you choose this name, Insalata di Bosco? I'm very curious about that.
We actually started thinking about, we actually were asking some of our friends, Italian friends from the master, for some input on it. And it kind of became, I guess, the idea of a salad being something that there's many different ingredients and so it kind of relates to a community and the Don Bosco community of how there's many different people from different parts of Italy and different parts of the rest of the globe. And so it relates to the idea of a salad, and then Bosco having that play on words of Don Bosco, but also meaning woods. So the play on words of those two things, it seemed to really fit the project.
Did you discovered a lot of new recipes that you didn't know and something like that during the project?
Yeah, so far, so we really would like to continue the project because throughout the semester it started to evolve, and we feel like we're still at the very beginning of learning about what works and what doesn't work. And we actually have two ways that people can submit information through a short Google questionnaire with a drawing or an image of the recipe, or they can also send a video that's more of a storytelling method. And we did learn, we had someone reach out from Guinea, and he sent a recipe called farci, which is a rice dish from there. And so that was definitely a recipe that I didn't know about. And then some things that I was familiar with and some things not familiar with, but it's always nice to hear the personal story connected to it.
Mm-hmm. And you, Eric?
Yeah, similarly to Darlene, I think we're at the very beginning of the ball actually starting to get rolling of getting information. I'm not from Italian descent, and other than my North American understanding of Italian food, I don't know a lot of the traditional meals. So even there's a employee at Bartore who filled out the questionnaire for us, and she shared a pasta meal, which I'm forgetting the name of.
The pizzocchieri, with if you're familiar with this. Pizzocchieri, am I pronouncing it correctly?
I don't understand, sorry.
I think
if you can write it down in the chat, I can see it maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, I need to say this was something that was new to me. And yeah, we're still continuing
pizzoccheri. Yeah, I like it very much, pizzoccheri. Yes, I understood pizza something, but I didn't know.
Yeah, it was my pronunciation.
Sorry about that. You understood.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, and what is your dish or recipe that you would like to share with us, and that has maybe memories connected with it?
You know what? I can start, maybe. So I actually shared, we actually did our own videos to practice and just to get an idea of what, to sort of learn what we wanted other people to do. And so what I chose was calamari ripieni, because my grandmother is actually, was Italian. I come, my mother's side of the family is Italian, and so this dish is something that we always had the night before Christmas for dinner. And so this is something that reminds me of my grandmother, and we sort of keep the tradition alive, and I still make it every year. And while I was here through Christmas during COVID and not able to go home, I made it. I made it here. So yeah, and it just reminds me of my grandmother cleaning the fish and the entire house smelling of fish and bringing everybody together. So it was this annual tradition all the time.
Yeah, and for me, the meal that I think is the most noteworthy or that is memorable is quiche, and specifically because of the pastry. My mother and my grandmother, so her mom, have made pastry my entire life, whether it be for quiche or for more sweet like desserts like pies, or in Canada we have a dessert called butter tarts, which is actually something that I made this past Christmas as well, being here away from home. And yeah, just the actual...
How is it made?
Yeah, so it's largely just whether either butter or vegetable shortening, and then with flour, salt, some white vinegar, and you just knead it together relatively lightly to then use for quiche or for different tarts or pies.
Great. So, if there is anything else that you would like to say about the project, we are here.
I guess we would just love for people to reach out if they're interested in participating and telling us a bit about themselves. If making a video is a bit intimidating, we also would love to hear written stories, or reach out with written stories or drawings or anything that people feel like sending us, or just to say hi.
Yeah. And ultimately, we are just really excited to hear what foods people are making by themselves and also with other people, things that remind them of their family, remind them of their cultural heritage, whether they grew up in Don Bosco or if they grew up somewhere outside of Alto Adige or even Italy itself. We're really excited to see what backgrounds are being represented within the Don Bosco area.
Yeah, and we'd love the project to grow into something where eventually after COVID is over, we can have maybe events or some food tandems where people can learn recipes from each other. Since, you know, a lot of people are from different places, maybe someone from Africa can teach someone from Italy how to make a dish, and vice versa, or you know, other places as well, Mexico, wherever. And it would be really nice to be able to connect people, maybe even have a festival where we have a potluck where people bring different foods together. So those are just things that we're thinking that the project could evolve to eventually, when we don't have to rely so much on the digital space.
So thank you very much, Darlene and Eric, so participating here at Mercoletè podcast. And you can find it in Insalata di Bosco again on Instagram, and you can send videos of recipes and so on. And yes, thank you again.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.